Hey, what's up everybody? So no playing in this video today. I want to cover something that gets asked about all the time in several different forums, in the Facebook groups. I've had it asked in person from other Headrush users that I've run into. And it's how do you keep the Headrush pedal board organized? There's so many things on there. Even though it's much simpler than many other modelers, there's still quite a few like folders and menus and things like that. And the folders are just full of things like impulse responses or just all of the rigs, like all of the stock presets that the Headrush comes with. So I'm just going to cover 5 quick ways to alleviate those issues. And stay tuned. I promise this will be super helpful to you, and you'll probably get something new out of this no matter how long you've owned the Headrush. Alright, so tip number 1, unclutter your Headrush to begin with. Don't clutter it. One of the most important things for me when it comes to that is to get rid of all of the stock presets that the Headrush came with. I didn't like any of them anyway, so just get all those old rigs out of there. Right, so the way that you do that is you go into global settings. Right, so you have to hook up your computer or your Headrush to a computer, and then from there, from global settings, you'll hit that again and go to USB transfer. Alright, so now the Headrush is hooked up to our computer, and as you can see here, the Headrush is a drive like any other drive on your computer. And this here is basically the contents of your Headrush. So you can see all of the different blocks, all of the impulse responses. These are all user-added ones from me. I deleted all of the stock impulse responses as well. Was not a big fan of them. Loops will be empty, but I have loops in here. You'll have set lists in here, and you'll definitely, if you have not yet deleted all of the default or like the stock presets that the Headrush ships with, this rig folder is where you would do that. So this is all of my, this is it for me in terms of rigs on my Headrush. If you have the stock preset still, you're probably looking at, what was it, like almost 200 or over 200. Right, so if you don't like them anyway, if you do like them, then I guess don't do this, but if you don't like them anyway, I recommend starting from scratch, select all of them, and just delete them. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to do that to my Headrush, but basically just highlight them all and delete them all. Start with a clean slate, right? And that would take care of that for you. So that is it for tip number 1. Don't clutter it to begin with, whether it be rigs, impulse responses. Everyone knows there's tens of thousands of impulse responses out there, right? Sometimes you get 1,000 just in one manufacturer's pack. Keep your block presets clean. Don't make tons and tons of those. Why do you need to? Just stay clean to begin with. And let's move on to number 2 now. All right, so my next tip would be lies in the way that you name your rigs, for example. So let us look at all of our rigs, right? So you can see that they're not in any particular order. However, you can, if you hit this little keyboard icon down here, there's a little menu that many people never see because the keyboard always pops up automatically, right? But if you tap that, then you've got some options here. So you can sort alphabetically, either from beginning to end or from end to beginning. So that is just one way. Of course, you'll have to name all of your rigs a certain way to get them to appear in a certain order that you desire. Another option is kind of like what I did here with this rig called 01 Expression Demo. If you go by a numbering system, that would help too. So let's, for example, go with this, this JCM base mod rig that I've got here. And let's rename that rig. Edit rig name. And let's go here to the front. And now let's name that O2 JCM base mod. And go back into our rigs up here. Now that rig went from relatively far down the list to just under there. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is for like presets, whether they're amp presets or effect presets, that kind of thing. So let's go into into this green JRC, the Tube Screamer, right? You'll notice one of my naming systems, for example, is most of the presets I create and that I want to keep coming back to or maybe use for the channel, I name them all AM for just Alex Mansman, right? So I have a Tube Screamer for a JCM, a JTM, a modded JCM, something different for a Plexi, but they're all called AM. So there's another really simple tip for you. Let's see, or for example, in the plate reverb, I've got all the plus ones are the default ones the Headrush comes with. The one I like to use is one I made. I call it the AM plate reverb. It really is that simple. So stay organized using any kind of system like that you can come up with. What is tip number 4? Tip number 4 is to use set lists for rigs. I have a video on set lists in general, but basically set lists, as you can see up here, are just kind of like folders you can make that only contain user-defined rigs instead of your entire list of rigs on your whole Headrush. For example, I made this YouTube one, right, with a clean Plexi, JCM, and Soldano rigs. And sorry, I just had to fix something there. Because let me show you the set list itself. We'll go into edit. Right? This set list contains my clean Plexi, JCM 800 and SLO rigs. Now, as I'm flipping, as I'm banking up and down, no matter how many times I hit that bank up and down button, it's only those 4 rigs. So that is yet another way to stay organized. I guess let me quickly show you how to make a set list in case you didn't watch the other video. But you hit the hamburger menu up here, go to New for set lists, and these are all the rigs on your Headrush in total. And you can just tap on them, add as many as you want or as little as you want, preferably for a set list, probably in many scenarios, no more than 3, 4, 5 maybe. So I'm not going to save that one. And then my final tip, this one is pretty neat. A lot of people are not aware of this one. So you can actually organize your rigs by color in the rig list, right? So let's go back to all rigs mode. You see that little blue, this little blue box to the left of all the rigs, and then I think I had one random one that had like purple, so that my scenes demo is colored purple, right? So where you can assign that color is if you go into hardware assign, it's right up here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors to choose from. So it is limited to 9 colors, but again, like I say all the time, get as creative as you want with this. Just discard those changes real quick. So let's take, for example, let's take a look at my rigs here, right? Let's just take these top 4. Okay, so we'll take my expression demo rig. I don't want it to have that light blue color. And by the way, when you organize by color, it's gonna go in this order. So this like green to yellow, orange, red, back to blue kind of thing. So I'm gonna give this a green shade, right? And I'm gonna save that. Then I go into my JCM base mod rig, and I'm going to change that color to like red. Okay, save. Cancel. Let's save out here. Okay, and as you see the colors already changing. And then we'll take my acoustic rig. We'll change that to like this light purple one. Okay, and save that. And then we'll do this clean rig over here, right? Hardware assign. And we will give that the darker blue color, okay? All right, now you can see that these are still in alphabetical order, but if you hit this keyboard again, make that go away, and bring up your options, you can sort color. So now you can see, you didn't see a whole lot of movement here, but my clean rig moved up from all the way at the bottom of the list almost to up here. Because the last color is this light blue one, and the first color is this light green one. You can reverse that too by hitting that button again. Now the last color is everything on the light green end of the spectrum there. However you want to make use of that, say you want to color all of your let's go like EVH 5153 amp style, all right? Like the whole green, blue, and red thing. Your clean rigs, maybe you assign them like a green color. And then your crunchy rigs, you give them the blue color. And your like really nasty, like chuggy and high gain rhythm rigs, you make them all red. And you can organize them that way. So that's it. Those are my 5 tips for keeping your Headrush pedal board organized, or gig board, or MX5. So I hope that this was useful to you, and hopefully this kind of reduces the complaints about that in the forums and the Facebook groups. Thanks for watching, guys.